You know what? I'm just going to say it. Marcus Rogers is a deceived, delusional young man. He's deceived and delusional. And it's sickening. I just watched his latest video where he was there talking about there's orchestrated chaos and they're trying to pull a George Floyd. He always remember I tell you, they always try to use the word they, talking about basically Democrats or anybody that's not on that far right agenda. And they're trying to orchestrate chaos because of the campus events and all of these other things that are happening and migrant stuff and all of this chaos. And they do it every time around the election. This is what he's talking about. And you know, this guy is the one that they kind of called civil war. And he was the one, if you recall, he went to Capitol on January the 7th.
So we got everybody out here, all right, marching. Here to have 7 worship out here, and then they're over here marching to the Capitol.
That wanted to take place in chaos. And do you remember this lady?
He were to lose again, what would that mean for the country in your estimation?
We'd have an uprising. There's too many people that are ready to go now.
When you say, what does that mean? Can you be specific?
Civil war. Civil war.
You think it'll be a civil war if Trump loses again?
Oh, yes, I do. I know with people that I talk to.
You remember her? See, she's talking about civil war. So who's trying to start war and want to go have chaos? Even when Trump had just recently said, oh, he's not going to accept the results, basically, of the 2024 election if he loses. So it's already setting the foundation for chaos. And I find it this foolish talk coming out of this man's mouth. I go on vacation, come back, and walk right back into the hornet's nest of chaos where it's still there. Where these people that call themselves pastors, call themselves prophets, call themselves all of these things, and they continuously lying on the Lord, continuously propping themselves up, continuously pushing false message and a false Christianity. And this is what's going on. This guy, Marcus Rogers, asking for $1 million. If you're not aware of that, he wants $1 million because he needs to get things the way he wants it. Kingdom building is what he calls it. He wants a TV station. He wants this school. He wants all of these things to teach all of these things to broaden his message, his right-wing message, far extreme right-wing. He quoted Charlie Kirk in this particular video, the guy of Turning Point USA that has Kimberly Guilfoyle, Newsom, and all of the other wackies that go around and speak around the country because they're trying to do this far extreme Christian nationalism takeover. You know, I was listening to, I have a neighbor where they have a granddaughter that stays with them, and this granddaughter has had several kids. Basically, she's a single mother, several kids, and she's, looks like, she just needs to get her life together. And I overheard her today, and their kids, beautiful. They're all girls, and they were playing outside, and they weren't even doing anything. And I heard her say to one of them, "I will beat your A." I will, you do that or something, I will beat your A. The way she's talking to them, it sickened me. And it just made me think, because I've talked about it with my wife before. We just talk about with females and people like this, how you set the foundation of a young generation to set them on the wrong path. And here you have this girl. She's in her mid-20s or whatever. She's been living there with grandma and them, and they're elderly. And she doesn't even, I don't even think she works because her car is there all the time. And she's had no kids, father is around, and all of this. And she's talking to them like dogs. They rarely ever get to come out and play. And she talks to them like this. And I'm just thinking like she's laying the foundation for more dysfunction and making it more of a hurdle for these kids to overcome to try to have success in life. And I was just thinking, when I saw this message from Marcus Rogers, and I was listening in on Troy Black on his live where he's doing his so-called teachings. And as I mentioned in my community tab there, he'll be right back with his crazy so-called visions and all of these things that he's hearing from God just endlessly and things like that. And I was thinking about, Marcus Rogers has kids, plenty of them, him and Troy Black. You wouldn't know any better if they're Mormons or something, that they're having all of these kids and young kids. And these guys are young. And they're young guys with all of these kids and stuff. But Marcus Rogers he's a nationalist. I've told you, he's a national, and he's a conspiracy guy. He hangs out and speak at events with Greg Locke, another conspiracy guy and a right-wing, far extreme pastor. And that's the same. And Marcus is on that level. And he sits there, yes, we don't want some of this evil and these things that's going on in the world. But you don't link yourself up with these far extremists, these people that are basically the American version of the Taliban and want to just take over and have intertwine the politics along into the church and all. And that's what he wants to do with this. He's basically, the man is lost. He's spiritually lost. He's brainwashed. He's all of that. And he's going to lay the foundation for his kids and any kid that will go to a school where he's trying, because I think he might have been homeschooled or something like that. And God, oh my God, I think of these poor kids that will end up sit there and be in his school, any kind of training to sit under that, sit under a Troy Black, sit under these types of people, the ones that have the kids. They're going to be deceived. And the hurdles that they're going to have to overcome, the spiritual major hurdles, because you talk about injecting that kind of mindset where you're into conspiracies heavy, where you're into nationalism heavy, where you're into promoting people and standing by people that promote hate heavy, and that you are willing to stand on that. And someone like Marcus Rogers, stand on that enough to where you went there on January the 6th to stand in unity with these folks that stood by a lie, stand by those that claim they love the Lord, claim that they worship him with all their soul and everything, and went there and chaos and people lost their lives, and you brush it off like nothing ever happened. Brush it off like it doesn't mean anything. Blame it as plants and all of these people have been in. No, it really wasn't the supporters and all. It really wasn't the Christians wearing all. Yeah, it was people wearing crosses, carrying messages of the Lord and all of that. And you went into a church with a guy wrapped in a flag, idol worshiping a man.
Hallelujah.
What's going on, and your kids see this. Your kids watch you, watch daddy do this. One of the greatest things, I pride myself with my kids. It's one thing, my aunt, when my auntie, she raised me because I didn't have my parents growing up, her and my uncle, and for a while there, he drifted away from the Lord and was basically getting drunk and wouldn't come home on the weekends and this and that. And one thing my aunt used to always tell me though, she used to always say, Maurice, you're never going to see me drunk like that. You'll never see me. She made sure that she tried to do the best to be the best example. And I had examples, positive examples, what to look at and certain things to do and respect. Respect your elders. Respect those, now we're in this time where you're making fun of old people. You think it's a joke. I don't, you better hope, and I'm going to say that I was talking about that when we was on vacation with somebody. People are making fun of the old people and all of this. You better hope and pray. You better hope and pray you can live to 70 plus years old just to get there. I pray that I can get there. Each day is a blessing. And the folks make fun. of the elderly anymore. And that's all the way from the president all the way down. It doesn't matter. There's elderly folks, there's elder abuse. That's a whole subject that gets pushed into the corner. I don't like, I love hanging out with old folks and picking up wisdom from them and learning, and they're fun. They have a lot of fun. We came back from the cruise. The cruise, me and the wife we was on, average age 50 and up. And we were hanging with people up in that age, talking with the senior people. And the senior people are they have a whole lot more fun than some of the younger people. These folks are having a blast. But there's a lot to learn from the people like this. But unfortunately, the chaos that some of these people has caused so much hate, not only with the elderly, just those with alternative lifestyles, those that, a different color, those that are, all of these things. And this is the type what Marcus, he stands by with people like this and believes in all of the conspiracies and lies that they go along with. And he's going to teach this kind of things. And his kids are going to watch that. So we got these baby Greg Locks and baby Troy Blacks and all of these types of mindsets, Charlie Kirk and all of these people, these right-wing nutty nationalists, indoctrination instilled in these kids, and they're going to be raised up and have a little bit of the part of every one of them names I just mentioned within them. It's scary. It's scary. Marcus Rogers, I don't care. I pray that the Lord does not allow this foolishness to continue on for him to grow that type of deception with that deceptive ministry. I pray that the man repents before it's too late, because nobody should be walking through the doors of that type of mindset from a pastor that calls himself a pastor, setting under that kind of stuff, putting their kids involved in that type of stuff, have no business to be part of it. They, and I pray that his kids, that the Lord, that he wakes up and that the Lord protect his kids. Tory Black's kids need to be protected because their fathers are not the spiritual leaders of the household as they should be. They are lost and they are in big trouble if these men do not repent. So I'm going to pray that the Lord put roadblocks in all of these false messengers' lives to help save. They always want to talk about, we talk about the abortion issue and saving kids. You know what? There's a whole lot of kids that are already alive that needs to be saved spiritually before they are destroyed, that are right here, right now. And these people are leading them to the slaughter. And we're going to call them out on this channel and continue to shine the spotlight on them. Evangelism for God is the channel. Maurice Braxton's my name. If you're new, consider subscribing, hit like, coming along for the journey, because we're going to take the devil head on, as we always say, and punch him right in between the chops. Until the next video, my friends, take care. God bless.